In. It's been a while since I brought you an 8-rack video, so I figured I would do it. This video is kind of in response to the M14 Pyromancer, young Pyromancer wave that is sort of sweeping modern right now. People are using him everywhere. I think the best incarnation he finds is in the blue tempo shell, which is using the Delver of Secrets / Tarmogoyf counterspell burn package to sort of exploit his ability. So if he sticks, he gets high. You get high value out of him. You get Taxium Probe and such. So I've just recently played. I played like 3 matches in a row against this. The last few days anyway. I've only played a few games on MTGO, but it's all been against this and beat everyone, so I figured I'd throw this out there for you guys to take a look. Okay, so not the greatest starting hand here. I've got the main pieces. I've got my damage, I've got my Lillian Ensnaring Bridge, and 1 creature boom. But a little light on lands, which concerns me, and not 1 discard spell other than Liliana, which is down the road type discard. So I'm a little concerned, but I keep the hand anyway. Let's just see what happens here. So he drops a shock and plays it. Untapped, casting Delver. Obviously a solid first turn move for Blue Tempo. That's exactly what they want to do, really. So I rip a Wrench Mind. Not terrible. It's the discard I was looking for. So I'm forced to play my Darkmoor Salvage tapped. He reveals a Mana Leak, which is probably the worst possible scenario because it flips his Delver, and now he's got a counterspell in hand, guaranteed. Plays a shock, takes 2 more damage. I'm down to 17 now. He's at 16 from the shocks. Okay, moving on here. What's going on? Alright, I draw a land. That's not exactly what I mean, it's good, actually. I needed that land badly. So that's good. So my choices now are to whatever I cast is going to get eaten by the Mana Leak. So I choose to cast the Wrench Mind, which he pays 2 land to discard a card, or he pays 2 mana to discard a card here. So that's not a terrible exchange. It gets the leak out of his hand. I still have got to deal with this Delver, however. So he's sitting on nothing. He doesn't cast anything. He's sitting on some instance. I grab a Duress, which is a great card to get right here because I can potentially cast 3 spells. So I cast a Duress, take a look at his hand, and we see another Mana Leak, Serum Visions, Lightning Bolt, Probe, and Goyf. So he's got like basically a god hand. That's exactly the type of hand that you want. It's the type of hand you build for and expect when you play this deck. So I rip the Mana Leak from him because I don't want him countering any of my stuff. And I take 2 damage and I cast a Dismember. I get rid of that. So any threat he plays is still going to be a turn back. So he's going to go. Oh, so he rips the Pyromancer here, the young Pyromancer, and he casts it. So that's what he just drew. And then he casts his Probe. So a strong play. He's got 2 creatures down, and I have no way of actually removing them from the board. I do rip another Dismember. It's okay here, but that's not exactly what I wanted to see. Instead, I choose to play the Ensnaring Bridge. I have to get this down, and I cannot risk it being counterspelled if I'm to stabilize here at some point. So the correct play is to play the Ensnaring Bridge while it's safe. I can potentially cast 3 spells from my hand to empty my hand. It'll be painful for me, but I could do it. He's building up elementals, and yeah, saving his mana for more counterspells, presumably. I get a land, which is good. This is exactly what I need because I need to play something. I need to get it out of my get cards out of my hand now, big time. That's my main goal. So with the idea of getting cards out of my hand, I'm not going to play Liliana here. This may confuse some people, but if I play Liliana, she's just going to get eaten to all the little critters anyway. So I've got to empty my hand before Liliana's safe to hit the deck. I cast one of the racks. He spell stutters it. Okay, I can live with that. I cast another rack, and I make a misplay here. This is a misplay, guys. I cast the Dismember, and I target the young Pyromancer. But what I should have targeted was one of the goobers here, because he was blocked. He couldn't have attacked. And I mean, yeah, he might have been able to cast an instant spell or something, but it could have said that, that's the kind of thing that could cost you the game there. That one damage that you could have prevented by selecting the right target, that could cost you the game. So that's a misplay. In this case, I should have taken out the Spell Stutter Sprite, and I chose wrong. I just was like, oh, I don't like that thing, so I just killed it, but I should have taken something else. He ends up hitting me for 3 right here. This should be actually only 2 damage. So I should be at 5. It doesn't make a difference, but it could have. So that's the kind of thing you got to watch out for. So I rip a land, and I have my lock in place now. So I have stabilized. I know he has that lightning bolt in hand, so I'm essentially at 1 life here, guys. So I'm completely locked. He cannot attack me. He can't do anything to me now. Except for burn, so he's essentially waiting on a burn spell. And if he gets it before I kill him, then he wins. So that's the situation we're looking at right now. He starts casting spells. I think this is a bad idea. Oh wait, no, he doesn't. He's smart. He keeps it in his hand. He's got the Goyf. He never bothers casting it. Why bother? It's not going to do him any good. I get another rack. That's a good sign. So I drop that. Let's see what happens here. He chooses to Spell Stutter it. Okay. I can take that. It gets a card out of his hand. It turned it into like a Raven's Crime. That's fine. So, with the Liliana +1, the clock has started for him. Not to mention, Liliana gets to her ult really quick. So we'll see how it goes here. I get a land. Nothing really helpful there. He's not casting spells. He sees the lock in place, so he doesn't cast anything. I just play my land and start +1ing with my Lily. She's in alt range next turn, if I had to. He dumped, you see what they're playing now with this deck? Disrupting Shoal. Free counter spells. I don't like that. Raven's Crime is perfect. Really good right now. It's going to turn any future land top decks into extra value, so I can go ahead and discard something here. He casts the Spell Stutter. Doesn't matter, really. He would have probably been better off not casting it and just discarding the Spell Stutter. It would have kept an extra card in his hand, because I drop him down to 1 card now with the +1. Never mind, because he counterspelled the Raven's Crime. Disregard that. It was a correct play. So Lily's at 7 now. I can alt. Oh, and I ripped a Dakmore Salvage. So now when I can Raven's Crime, and I can guarantee -2 cards every turn with the Dakmore and the Liliana. So he has to Lightning Bolt me here after I +1 again with Liliana. Nice thunder out there. Make my dogs bark. So he's got no cards in hand. I'm at 1. This is a race now. If he rips a Bolt before I kill him with my rack, it's over. I have no need to dredge. He had no cards in his hand, so I use my Liliana alt. And what I do here is I give him a choice. He can have everything, or he can have his red mana. That's essentially the choice I gave him. And he chooses his red mana because, that's the only way he can win is with the Lightning Bolt. So that's a pretty effective Liliana ult, really. I cleared out 2 lands and all his creatures. He's taking damage. He has to rip something. He had to rip Bolt this turn. He didn't do it, so he conceded. So there's game 1 down. One possible misplay. Thankfully, it didn't cost me the game. I had 1 life, so I had, but it was close. Obviously, it was really close. To be careful about those misplays. Even 1 damage with a lock deck, even 1 damage can be the difference between winning a game and losing a game. So you cannot afford any misplays. Even something simple like, killing the Pyromancer instead of the Spell Stutter. Or even if I had chosen one of the tokens, it would have been smarter. Anything that would have saved me that life. So there's game 1 down. So close this. Now let's go ahead and check out... let me see. Let's do game 2. Close game. Very close game. Let me see the chat. So let's see. I sided in... I sided in Leyline of Sanctity. I sided out a couple Dismembers and my Singleton Necrogen Mists. And I wanted that Leyline in there just because I felt like the only threat that he really had on me was the burn. So, not the greatest. This isn't a terrible starting hand, but it's not the absolute greatest, so I ended up mulliganing here to try and get that Leyline. I didn't get it. I do have 2 bridges in this hand, so I keep this one. I got 2 bridges and some turn 1 and turn 2 discard. This is a pretty good starting hand, even though I'm a little bit light on cards after the mulligan. Alright, so, and if I don't open with Leyline, I never cast it. I have no white mana access in this game, so, or with this particular build. So Leyline is like one of those things where you mulligan to get it, and if you don't, then, it's one of, you use it, you side it in when it's going to win you the game, and it could have, I don't know if it was correct, but it could have won me this game. So I drop a land and cast IOK. Take a look at his hand. He's got Young Pyromancer, Goyf, Mana Leak, and Spell Stutter. So no brainer here, guys. You take the Mana Leak. The critters are going to be blocked by IOK, and the Spell Stutter doesn't counter anything I care about. So the Mana Leak is gone, and you have to be able to play your spells. That's what hurts Blue the most, is when you get their counter spells. They're stuck to the only thing their deck does when you remove their counter spells is cast threats that aren't as threatening as other decks. Rip the Lily, boy, that's a huge card. I won't be playing it right away, but that's good to have in my hand. Lily, will you marry me? This is the greatest freaking Planeswalker printed. I mean, yeah, okay, Jace the Mind Slayer, or the Mind Sculptor, sorry. Yeah, I get it. He's beyond broken and overpowered, but him aside, him not in Monard, this is the best freaking Planeswalker in there. And in a deck like this, there's no comparison. She's great in a lot of places. She's so good. She's she can fit anywhere else, but she's completely one-sided in this. This is like she's like the discard champion, like she's leading the charge. And at 3 CC, wow, what a fantastic card. All right, so getting back to the game, he swings at me with Young Pyromancer. I don't care. Next turn, I get a land, which is okay, not terrible. I got Raven's Crime in the graveyard. So what I choose to do here is to cast the Ensnaring Bridge. I got to get that down. I know he doesn't have Mana Leak, and the Spell Stutter's useless against it. So with the Ensnaring Bridge, it's a safe play now. And even if he had ripped a counterspell or something, I've got another one. So I wanted to make sure one hit the deck. And let's see what he cast, the Goyf, which is a non-threat with Ensnaring Bridge on the table. I get another land, so what I can do here is cast Raven's Crime, ripping another card from his hand. He casts Spell Stutter Sprite to counterspell it, understandable. I cast another Raven's Crime to empty his hand completely. It got rid of the Bolt. And now I only have 2 cards in my hand. So what I could have done was played the land and cast Liliana, but that would have made me discard my Ensnaring Bridge. And I didn't absolutely wanted to do that. I don't know if he sided in some artifact hate, like some ancient grudge type stuff, or who knows what he could have sided in against me. But I just didn't want my my second ensnaring bridge just gone. I have a lot of life, so I was playing a little bit loose with the life pool. I stick a Liliana and +1 her. The only thing he can swing at me with is the spell stutter sprites now, and I have another ensnaring bridge to play. He swings at Liliana with the spell stutters, which is understandable. She's terrorizing him. And now this is a total lock. I've got my 2 bridges, Lily in place, and he's got an empty hand. So he can just sit here and cast a bunch of stuff, but the only thing he can hurt me with is burn. He'll have to get through both bridges to attack me with critters. So a land equals a discard if I needed it, but he has 0 cards in hand, so I don't have to worry about that. He's got more critters hitting the deck, and he can't keep anything in his hand, so anything he keeps will get run out with Liliana +1ing. Liliana's up to 5, and I get a Dismember. Might as well cast it, why not? It doesn't matter, he counterspells it anyway, whatever. Who cares? Liliana's at 6. I get the Ley Line, which is a useless rip at this point. Okay, I've got Lily at 7. I got a Dackmore Salvage. So what I do is I use the Raven's Crime. I discard whatever card he's got. It was a Mana Leak, or a spell Snare. And then I use Liliana's +1. I make him choose between his creatures and his lands. He chooses his lands, obviously. So it's kind of like a one-sided. It turns Lily into a one-sided Wrath of God in that particular case. Worse than Wrath of God because it's sacrifice. And la la la. I'm just sitting here waiting until I get a rack. Finally get one from one of my 8 possible rips. So I get a rack, and this is it. This is how you win games here, guys. You lock up the game and let your racks do their evil work. And I get discard that I don't need anymore. And just Lily doing her Lily thing. Lily's back up to 4. She's out of bolt range now. He gets critters that are useless. I get lands that I don't need to use for Raven's Crime. And he's got 1 turn to kill me, and he can't do it. I'm at 11. He does get a bolt, but it's too little too late. I got 2 racks on him, and that's it. I won the game. So, what have we learned here? You learn that people aren't prepared for this particular strategy, even now. This Pyromancer blue tempo shell is extremely popular, probably because it's so damn good. I have all the cards for it, but I haven't put it together. I don't know, I don't like playing those types of decks that are sort of easy to come up with. Any Joe Schmo sees those types of decks and can throw together a list. I prefer playing something that's personalized to my particular style, and coming up with something that's people haven't seen before, but it's still good. That's the way I like to play Magic. So I haven't had a chance to really mess with it too much. The young Pyromancer incarnations. I would like to see what that kind of a deck stacks up to Pod. I would love for some deck to come through here, some easy to run, easy to build deck like the blue tempo shell. I would love that to come through here and wipe Pod off the face of the map, because if some deck comes through and makes Pod unpopular, this 8-rack will have a freaking field day, because that's really the toughest match for me is Pod. They can fetch answers to bust up my lock and swing at me and kill my Lily and kill me with their just regular beatdown game plan, and then they just fetch answers. They don't even need to combo out, and then they can combo out if they need to anyway. The Pod, the whole deck, I think, is I know, even though it's unique to Modern, I think it's really warped the meta. It's too good. It has too few weaknesses. You have to build specifically to beat it, and it's almost impossible because they fetch answers to your hate. So, anyways, there we go. There's another 8-rack video for you guys, a little bit updated, and I'll keep working on stuff. There's still a lot of interest in the deck. According to the MTGS forum, it stays popular. I read it every single day from my iPhone at work. I don't always post in it, but I do read it and keep abreast of what people are trying. I think we kind of go, it's kind of taking a few steps backwards, but that's fine. You know, you do what you got to do. As long as you're having fun, you're doing it right. So thanks for watching. Please thumbs up. Go ahead and sub. Leave your comments and trolls and flames. I will not delete trolls or flames. So go ahead and troll me and flame me if you hate my discard deck and it makes you want to QQ to mommy. So, alright guys, later.